It's Dr. Andrew here again on behalf of Staples Business Advantage and Fellows Canada. There were a few questions from last week's webinar that we didn't have enough time to get to, so we're going to go through them today. Before we do, I'm going to show you my quick little setup here. So this is my home office. So a few things. I'm sitting back into the chair. I've got some decent lumbar support. My thighs are roughly parallel to the ground. Okay. My arms are basically by my side, and when I'm typing, if I bring myself close, I'm here. So my arms are roughly 90 degrees. I know they're angled up a bit, but still good, and I'm very comfortable. Same thing with my mousing. I'm not reaching forward or typing forward. And then when I look straight ahead at my monitor, I'm roughly within that top third of the screen, so I look straight ahead at the screen. Okay, so first question we had was, what about chairs with no backs? Now, if that's the case, I'm sitting like this most of the day. Okay, so my back muscles are going to be engaged for hours and hours and hours, which will eventually lead to muscle fatigue, which can then, if the muscles aren't supporting the spine, can lead to issues and irritation of the nerves and just achiness in the back in general. As well, potentially for anyone with sciatic issues, sitting completely upright puts more pressure on that sciatic nerve going down the spine. Okay, so anyone with sciatic issues, having a proper back support and sitting back into the chair is essential. So if you don't have a chair back that supports you, you either need to be taking multiple frequent breaks, or honestly look at even using a dining room chair that has some back support and looking at potentially adding, like we talked about, a towel or a cushion to give your lumbar lordosis a bit more support. Okay. Next question. There's two questions talking about what about neck and shoulder plane, particularly into the arm, like the mousing arm. Okay, and so there's one question saying that they reach forward. Okay, and there's another one saying that the mouse is forward like this, and one with the mouse being off to the side. Okay, so if you have a large desk space, okay, the couple things is bring your mouse pad and your mouse as close to you as you can, first of all. But some people, with the keyboard being really wide, that's still too wide. So I bring it as tight as I can here in the spacing. But sometimes what we do, we look at for some people is that instead of having a full keyboard, we go with a keyboard with just the keypad, okay, without the number pad or the cursor keys here. And what that does is then, if you think about it, I can mouse within this range here like that, and that works well. Once again, if you only have a small space, and so you don't have like enough room to have your mouse here, and people are reaching or mousing somewhere up on a separate platform or something, look at that smaller keyboard, because then you should, in theory, you can still have your mouse right beside the keyboard there, so you're not reaching out. Because yeah, you can be typing like this, but if you're reaching out, that's going to cause major issues through the trap. As well, for anyone who gets the numbness and tingling going down, as soon as you reach up, your trapezius muscle engages, okay, or forward as well. When you're reaching forward, there's a small muscle underneath your big pec muscle called the pec minor, and all the nerves that go down from your neck into the arm, they go underneath that muscle. So if that muscle is contracted because you're reaching forward and stays tight, it is going to cause some irritation on that nerve, which over time can lead to that numbness, tingling, or pain into the hand. So getting those arms back is essential, and you have to adapt your workspace to be able to do that. Okay, what do we got? Oh, for someone with bifocals. Okay, so if you have bifocals, you tend to, the monitor height changes. So it's not the top third anymore, because when you have bifocals, you tend to focus a little bit more through the bottom of the screen. So someone with bifocals at the normal height, you'd see them extending back and looking down like this. So what you want to do is simply get the monitor down, and then what I'm looking at, roughly a good spot to start at, is so when I look straight ahead, I'm hitting the top of the screen. Okay, for bifocals, that's a good place to start, and you put it there. See if you're looking through the bottom of the glasses, can you see most of the screen? Okay, and have someone look at you. And when I do assessments, I keep adjusting the monitor height and look and see what their head does. So you go to the top third of the screen, bring it down, have someone look at you from the side and see if your eyes, if you're doing extending a bit, or you're looking pretty good. And look at the bottom of the screen, look at the top of the screen, and make sure you're not extending your neck. And that's how you adjust the height. But getting it roughly to that, the top, your eye looking straight ahead to the top of the monitor works well. Okay. Another question talking about eyes, about blue blocker glasses or blue light filters for your screen. Um, Blue light can cause some eye strain, but the number one thing it does is blue light affects the production of our hormone in our body called melatonin. And melatonin is the hormone that gives you that tired and sleepy sensation before you go to bed. The issue with melatonin is that if you have low production, you don't get as tired. Now, if you're spending a rough work day from 9 to 5 being on your monitor, that's not too bad. But if you tend to work a lot in the evening, say 7, 8 o'clock at night or later, okay, or spend a lot of time on your phone later at night, that blue light is going to decrease your melatonin production and could affect how tired you feel in the evening and affect your sleep. So if you find you do work late and you tend to be a night owl and you have a hard time going to sleep, then that is a good idea, and looking into either blue light blocking glasses or a blue light filter for your monitor. Okay. Two questions here about elbows rubbing up against the edge of the desk. Okay. And there's also a question about a gel pad. Can a gel pad still, like either for the keyboard or for the mouse, cause contact stress? So the answer for both of those is yes. So typically if my elbows are going to be rubbing, it's because I'm doing this. Okay. So I'm going to be rubbing there, and you can see how much further my arms are ahead, and you see I have to pull myself down to do that. Okay, so if I'm mousing out like that, okay, that's number one. The other thing that happens is a lot of times the desk height is too high and my chair is low. So what happens is I'm like this, and you can see as soon as I'm too low, what happens now? There's a lot of contact stress here. So I can still have a good gel pad, but now because I'm angled down and now I have to flex my wrist, that's creating a lot of contact stress. So if you're getting a lot of pressure, contact, or rubbing like this, most likely it's that your your chair is too low. So if the chair is too low, what do you want to do? If you have an adjustable chair, bring it up as high as you can. If not, we get some cushions, we put them down, we get a pillow or two to bring us up higher in the chair so that we don't have as much contact stress. Okay, I'm fortunate I've got a decent chair I can just pop up to the right height. Someone's talking about taking notes, and they say they take the notes on the left-hand side of their laptop. So I'm assuming they're right-handed because they'd be doing this then to take the notes. So from an ergonomic perspective, it's much easier just to take notes on the right-hand side. Okay, but if you're kind of bouncing back and forth, the two options are you do your typing, and then if you have to do notes, either you spin yourself or you literally physically slide yourself over to write notes, okay, and then you go back like that. So you chunk out your keyboard time versus your writing time, and you shift from one to the other so you're not twisting your body if you know you're going to be writing notes for about 5 minutes or more. Okay. Final question here. We have, dining room table versus a work desk. So what's the right height? So a work desk on average is about 74 centimeters high, which is roughly 29 to 30 inches off the ground. So that's standard, but for some people, if you're shorter, that's actually still too high, and you need to, bring the chair up or get yourself up higher. But a lot of dining room tables are actually higher than that. Okay, so then you're really getting up into that position or getting that contact stress. So that's where either getting a better chair or getting a bunch of cushions to bring yourself up will help. Okay, so that looks like we've covered most of the questions there that were asked. Hopefully you got the concept down of getting yourself into the relaxed and neutral posture, adapting your work space as best you can to fit yourself into that neutral posture, and then getting up and taking frequent breaks every 20 minutes or so. Okay, if you try to follow those things, hopefully you're going to be more productive, you're going to be healthier, and you should feel much more comfortable while you're working. So thanks very much for attending the webinar, and I hope you stay healthy and stay safe.